I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Bilal. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Bilal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound number one. So it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all his fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
Jack Della Maddalena isn't turning away from the spotlight. The welterweight champion sent a powerful message straight to Islam Makhachev, making it clear that he's more than ready for the toughest test of his career. Confident, composed, and locked in, JDM is embracing the challenge of facing the reigning lightweight king, and he's letting the world know he plans to meet it head on. Moreover, the UFC world can't stop thinking about this massive fight. Let's break it down.
I think that a lot of good welterweights, obviously I think Islam's, what he's done is probably given him, I think he deserves a shot if he wants to step up, but I guess that's not my call. It's up to the UFC.
Islam Makhachev's sent some warning shots to JDM, but Jack isn't bothered by it. The Aussie contender sees the champs talk about different levels and keeping the belt clean as fuel, not intimidation. In fact, he welcomes the idea that Islam might be underestimating him because when the cage door closes, words won't matter.
That's what you said, saying that you'll get it done for Volk. I like that unity.
Yeah.
He was then coming back and saying, like, keep my belt clean and you're not on his level. What do you think he believes this? Here's some of it. You are not Volk. I will show you a different level. Keep my belt clean. Do you think he respects you? What do you think?
I don't know. I reckon he's going to underestimate me as well.
You like that, though?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, for sure. But it doesn't really matter what he thinks. We're gonna fight.
Jack Della Maddalena is sharpening every weapon for the biggest test of his career, and part of that prep includes working with grappling mastermind Craig Jones. Instead of changing his style, Craig zeroed in on JDM's strengths, fine-tuned key details, and added subtle adjustments, exactly the kind of edge he'll need when he steps in against Islam Makhachev.
That's a lot. Just he didn't come in and want me to change my whole style, but he just watched me grapple and just told me where he thinks I'm good at, and then he obviously tweaked some stuff, gave us a couple of stuff to work on, but yeah, just the beginning working with Craig as well, so we'll keep.
And the tweaking must be working, as JDM in recent footage seems to get the best of Craig Jones, who is at the top of the grappling game.
Jack Della Maddalena puts jiu-jitsu coach Craig Jones to sleep.
Experts are also sharing their thoughts, and here's what they have to say. Kicking it off with Carlos Prates, who reflects back on JDM's previous fight and admitted he once doubted JDM after his injuries and long layoff, expecting the Bilal fight to be a slow, point-heavy scrap, but instead he was impressed by how much JDM had grown and leveled up. Still, Henry Cejudo was quick to point out that Islam Makhachev is a different kind of challenge altogether, with top control and suffocating pressure that go far beyond anything Bilal could bring.
I was thinking Jack Della Maddalena would lose. He got injured, and I was like almost 2 years without fight.
Yeah,
and then he come to different level, bro. Me was like gonna be a bored fight by points and things like that. But bro, what he did was really good work. He grew up a lot.
Yeah, but
he come a different level.
Yeah, but Islam is a different animal. And if there's one thing that I could say in that fight, Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you.
Yeah.
He's a blanket, bro. Yeah. Top control that Islam has in comparison to Bilal is completely different.
MMA Guru gave a passionate take and sees the matchup as closer than many expect. While he admits Islam could very well get it done, he's rooting to see the champ lose just for the drama. In his eyes, JDM has the tools to walk Islam down, keep the fight at range, and eventually force the champ backward. With his improved takedown defense and sharper discipline, Guru believes JDM might just turn the pressure into a real problem for Makhachev.
I actually think Islam, but I hope he loses just to watch him cope and cry. Makhachev could beat JDM. It's an absolutely fine take, but man, I can't help but think JDM's just going to walk him down. I can't see Makhachev backing him up. I think he's going to be at range, and eventually as we get into the fight, JDM will just start pushing him backwards, drawing the shots out more obviously. And since JDM stopped jumping gillies, man, takedown defense elite.
He argued that cutting weight isn't just about suffering, it's actually a weapon giving fighters the chance to be the bigger man inside the cage. Without that edge, Guru thinks Islam might not be able to bully JDM the same way he's done to smaller lightweights. Add in JDM's sharp defensive improvements and relentless forward pressure, and Guru believes the Aussie could force Islam into far more uncomfortable positions than fans are used to seeing.
Islam versus JDM will be close. It will be, but I think JDM will eventually finish him. Like, Makhachev will be winning. He might take a back for a round. Like, he might have the back of JDM for 2 minutes at the end of round 1. I could see that. How do you think Islam will look not having to cut down to 55? We might see him better than ever because of the recovery. Maybe, but I don't think he'll have the physicality that he had at 55. Weight cutting is a benefit, man. We keep saying that about... You know, there is lighter man skill. I agree with lighter man skill, but with how do you feel if he doesn't do the weight cut? No, being larger than your opponent is a massive advantage, you know?
While MMA Guru questioned whether Islam could maintain his trademark dominance without the size advantage of lightweight, Demetrius Johnson looked at the bigger picture. In his eyes, Islam has already beaten the best at 155, Volkanovski twice, Charles Oliveira, and now deserves the chance to chase double champ status. What excites DJ about this matchup is the clash of styles. Islam's body kicks, wrestling, and judo against JDM's crisp straight punches and polished boxing. Both are big welterweights with dangerous tools, and Johnson sees that as the recipe for a compelling fight.
He's beat Volk twice. He's beat pretty much everybody in the lightweight division. Charles Oliveira, he hasn't fought Justin Gaethje. I think it's time for him to have the opportunity to become a double champ. And I like this fight a lot. I like it a lot because, you know, they both move good on the feet. They both move a lot. Body kicks. You can definitely see Islam go for a double leg takedown, uses judo, his wrestling. And how would Jack Della respond? Jack Della's crisp on the feet as well with his hands and straight punches. They're both big 170ers, and I'm excited for this.
Robert Whittaker echoed that sentiment, noting that while JDM's ability to shut down Bilal's wrestling was impressive, Islam operates on a completely different level. The big question, he said, is how Makhachev will look when moving up in weight, since that shift always brings unknowns. Still, Whittaker believes Islam can do everything Bilal does, only far better. Yet despite that, he backed JDM's hunger, toughness, and self-belief, stressing that many fighters lose to Islam before the cage door even shuts. But Della Maddalena has the mindset and grit to chase the impossible.
Feel about this fight with Islam? Obviously, like, people bring up Bilal and they say, hey, this is a good sign, right? Like, he was able to stop all the takedowns. But Islam's kind of a bit of a different animal when it comes to the type of wrestling that he implements, right?
Definitely. But like I said, it is hard to try to get like an accurate gauge on what it's going to look like, not knowing how Islam is going to look when he moves up. Okay, it's always the question everybody asks when anybody is moving up a weight division or down a weight division. Okay, there's so many unknowns involved. But saying that, I think that Islam can do everything that Bilal does, but way better. Okay, way better. So, and the fight, I thought Jack handedly had the fight, but it was a fight. Okay, so I don't think it'll be an easy fight for Jack, but I believe in Jack. I think he's got that X factor. He's got that hunger there. You know, he's got the ticker, and you know, just like with Bilal, just like with Burns before, I think he can do the impossible.
I think sometimes with Islam, people defeat themselves before they even get into the octagon because they know they're in for a tough night. And JDM, like you said, he has the ticker. He believes in himself. You know, he'll go in there against anyone just like yourself. And
Ilia Topuria offered straightforward advice to Jack Della Maddalena: go to the body. He sees clean, straight shots to the midsection as the perfect tool to slow down Islam's level changes and smother his takedown attempts. With JDM already praised for his crisp, accurate striking, Topuria believes that bodywork could be the X factor that shifts the fight in the Aussie's favor.
Imagine you're angry with Jack at all, but do you have any advice for Jack, who might be coming up against Islam Makhachev next?
The advice, like, he has to work the straight body shots, because that takes away the intentions of the takedown. If he works with the straight body shots, he's gonna stop his intentions of the takedowns. And he's doing a great job in the striking. I like how he fights.
Jack's coach Ben Vickers laid out a clear picture of how he expects Islam to approach the fight. He doesn't see the champ rushing forward carelessly, but he's confident Islam won't spend much time trading in Jack's striking range either. Instead, Vickers predicts Makhachev will look to close the distance, clinch up, and make it a draining, grinding fight from the opening bell, using the fence and constant pressure to test JDM's gas tank. On the feet, he admitted, Jack is the more dangerous man, which is exactly why Islam will try to flip the script early.
Ask you, do you think it's straight away shooting in, establishing his wrestling, getting JDM up against the fence, or do you think he goes out there and actually tries to test his striking against you guys?
No, I don't think he's going to go out and try and test his striking, but I also don't think he's going to rush. You know what I mean? He's a very composed guy. He's a very high level, skillful person. You know, he's not going to rush and be running at Jack's hips, you know, but he is going to try and get hold of Jack as quickly as possible, even if it's just to try and tire him out in the early parts of the fight and get him into his world quickly. He will take damage from Jack as Bilal did if he's on the feet. So I'm sure he's going to not want to be there for as long as possible.
Charles Oliveira also broke the matchup down through the lens of styles, noting that JDM isn't the type to score quick knockouts, but instead wears opponents down with steady, relentless pressure. At the same time, he expects Islam to be even more dangerous at welterweight, with the extra size and strength making his grappling heavier and harder to escape. For Oliveira, if Makhachev manages to impose that game and bring Jack to the canvas, it could very well be the deciding factor.
Quem que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que... Ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
On the other hand, Khamzat Chimaev kept his take short and straight to the point, and he's backing Islam to get the win. No technical breakdowns or overthinking, just full confidence that Makhachev will handle business when the cage door closes.
We'll see what's going on. And who do you think's going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
Coach John Wood admitted JDM looked incredible against Bilal, and that experience gives him a taste of the style he'll likely see again with Islam, only sharper and more refined. He believes Jack has the edge on the feet, but the big question is whether his takedown defense can truly hold up over 5 rounds. Wood stressed that as long as JDM keeps improving and carrying his confidence, the fight stays interesting. But right now, it's hard to bet against Islam until someone finally exposes a crack in the armor.
I like it. I think that's a great fight. I feel like if Jack could keep building upon what he did in his, in against Bilal, I mean, he's seen that style now from a champion, and it's very similar to what Islam's going to do. I think Islam does it a little bit better. So as long as Jack is improving and getting better and his confidence is there, it's very interesting. I feel like on the feet, I think Jack's got him on the feet. It's just that obviously if that takedown defense can hold up, that's the thing with Islam. Obviously everybody is like, it's one of those things where you can't bet against Islam at this point in time until you see a chink in the armor. It's like betting against Marab.
Wood added that betting against Islam isn't exactly smart until someone finally cracks the code. He called Makhachev a different kind of beast on the ground, with solid striking that forces opponents to engage before setting up his shots. Still, he acknowledged there are holes in Islam's entry's openings that the right fighter could exploit. If JDM can figure those out, Wood believes it could turn into a long night for the champion, but until someone actually solves that puzzle, Islam remains the safe pick.
You could do it. It's not a smart bet, but until someone figures out that puzzle, I don't know. Islam is a different kind of cat on the ground, and his striking is not bad. He's going to come at you and get you to strike and eventually, take a shot. There are some holes in his game and holes in the entries and obviously, being Team Khabib, there are definitely some things that you can expose to get that win. And if Jack figures that out, I think it'd be a long night for Islam. But again, I wouldn't bet against Islam until I see.
John Wood's breakdown of the holes in Islam's game set the stage for Dustin Poirier's perspective, as Poirier argued that Makhachev's size and frame make him a natural fit at welterweight. In fact, he went as far as to predict Islam will eventually capture gold at 170. For him, the key lies in those opening exchanges, whether JDM can stay upright, keep off the cage, and avoid being grounded early. Poirier admitted it's a tough fight to call since Jack's athleticism and firepower make him dangerous. But that's also what makes this matchup so intriguing.
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Now it's your turn. Did Jack Della Maddalena bite off more than he can chew, or is he about to back up every word and shock the world? Will Islam Makhachev show once again why he's regarded as one of the most dominant fighters on the planet and put a strong finish on this one? Drop your thoughts in the comments, let us know who you're siding with, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates from the world of MMA.